Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Moonshine Stitches podcast. My name is Sydney and this is a YouTube channel where I talk about the things I've been knitting and crocheting and just generally crafting if, my crafting adventures stray outside of the yarn stratosphere. But generally it's just knitting and crochet. So, you can find me, no you can't. You can't find me anywhere. I mean, I have an Instagram that I don't really use. I tried using TikTok for a little while and making little yarn videos, but that is not my jam, I guess. But I'll link them anyway. I'll link them down in the description box, along with any of the patterns and yarns I mention when we start talking about the projects I'm working on. But I guess we should just jump right into the content that you are here to see. I did not finish anything since the last time we spoke, about 2 weeks ago. But I did make a lot of progress and have cast on / started a couple new projects. So let's get into it. First, we will talk about my Mosaic cardigan. This is a pattern by Nomadic Stitches. I am using Knit Pick Stroll in the colorways. This dark blue is Midnight Heather. The lighter bluey purple is Hazy Violet, I believe. This yellow is Treasure. The dark purple is Duchess Heather. The gray is Dove Heather. And then this brown down here is Prairie Heather. My goal last week was to finish the front 2 panels and join in the round, and as you can see, I have met that goal. However, I am considering ripping back this, hold on, you can see it better on the back, this brown and purple section, because I'm just not in love with the color combination. I think I'm going to leave the Prairie Heather out altogether and replace just this section, I guess, with the Hazy Violet, and just leave it out altogether. I'm just not digging it. I'm not in love, and you know what? I'd rather rip out the little bit of progress, I'd rather rip it out now than finish it, not love it, and want to rip it out again. So I guess I'll make a decision on that, though I am very, very swayed in one direction. And I think I'm going to do it anyway. I think I'm just going to do it. But yeah, I'm using a size 7 4.5 millimeter hook, which is a size lower than what is recommended in the pattern, but that is what I met gauge with. And I am making the size 4, I believe. Let me look at it. Yes, the size 4, which is a 41¼ inch bust. So that'll give me just a little bit of wiggle room. But yeah, I am really enjoying this pattern, but like I said, I'm just not in love with this color combination. I just don't think it's meshing well with the vibe I want. I think it was a little bit lighter online, but it's just, I don't know. We'll see how that goes, and maybe by the next time we talk, I will have ripped out and made a little bit of progress in starting that over. All right, moving on, we'll talk about some sock progress. Sorry, had to pause. The children are out of school. The baby is napping. There are bound to be interruptions, and I'm trying to embrace them as gracefully as I can. But before I paused, we were going to talk about socks, which, you know, I had the goal of finishing my husband's socks for Father's Day and did not meet that even a little bit. I did not finish one sock, but I did make some progress. I made a little bit of progress on 2 of the socks at least. I did not touch the Nomadic Yarns Good Luck Babe socks, so we're not even going to talk about them. But I did finish the leg and make the heel on my husband's socks, which, you know, progress is progress. The yarn I'm using for these is Acorn Cottage Studio in the colorway Fields of Mordor. This is a yarn I purchased at a local yarn shop that does not sell online. So if you're ever in like northeastern Pennsylvania and want to go to Thimbleberry Yarns, look them up because they have some really cute yarn. And that's the only place I could find it. Oh, there's like birds fighting outside. Yeesh. But yeah, I finished the leg, which is just this like 2x2 ribbing pattern, and made the heel. This yarn, hold on, I have it here. This is also Knit Pick Stroll in the colorway Holly Berry. This skein has seen better days. It's been kicking around the stash for a while. So, sorry if it's not beautiful to look at. But I think it's a really cool contrast for this yarn. The like dark red with this gray teal. Very cool. Very like, I don't know. It reminds me of the movie Crimson Peak, which has like that bright red. The colors in that movie are gorgeous. Just gorgeous. And that's what this sock is reminding me of, which, you know what? That was our second date, my husband's and mine's second date. We went to see Crimson Peak and got Indian food. So it's kind of fitting. I'm not in a rush to finish these. I would have liked to give him them for Father's Day, but he'll get them when he gets them. It's summer now. It's disgustingly hot. You don't need long wool socks on your feet. I say that fully knowing that he was literally wearing a pair of knit socks yesterday, but like, he can wait. He can wait. And I'll just keep plugging away on that as I am inspired. So we'll talk about pair of socks number 2, which are being knit out of this Laying Yarns Super Socks in the colorway Europe. And I met a hiccup with these socks. Oh, I didn't tell you what size needles I was using on my husband's socks. These are, oh my gosh, I'm ripping the yarn out. Oops, I'm a mess. I'm so sorry. These are a size 1, which is a 2mm, and I cast on 72 stitches because his feet are a little bit bigger. And I'm just using 9-inch circs, which is the only way I make socks. Which brings me to, oh my goodness, I really ripped out a lot of that yarn. Whoops, I'll have to fix that later. But anyway, that brings me to the hiccup. So I I did finish the leg on these socks. It's looking really cool the way it's striping. But the cable on my needles broke, and I don't have a spare 5-inch cable, so I have to wait for that replacement to come in. I slid them onto some like fixed sock needles, but they're not in the size I was using. I started the heel. That's what we're seeing right here. It's really awkward. It was a bad place for the needles to break, to say the least. It was a little difficult trying to save everything, but saved it was. But yeah, the reason I'm not doing these magic loop right now is because these are the wrong size. I was using a size 1.5, which is a 2.5 millimeter needle. But yeah, hopefully that'll be in sometime next week, and I could put them back on there because I felt like I was making a lot of good progress on those. It's another project I'm not really in a rush to finish because, like I said, it is like the beginning of summer and it is hot and humid and disgusting outside, and nobody wants to be wearing wool socks in this weather. It's been constantly raining in Northeast Pennsylvania, and it's just making everything like humid and sticky, and it's finally like starting to like warm up, and it's just not my jam. I'm not a fan of summer. If you couldn't tell. But yeah, that is everything I worked on from that you have seen last week. So we will get into some new cast-ons. I mentioned I wanted to cast on the Rift Tee by Jack Cieslak. This is like a boxy, oversized tee, and I made some really, really decent progress on this. So, like I said, this is the Rift Tee, and I am knitting this out of Barocco Remix Light, which is, hold on, I have the label. I'll read it to you and you could look at it. I like how like it looks almost tweedy from all of the different like fibers in it. This is made out of, oh, can't open it. Whoops. 30% nylon, 27% cotton, 24% acrylic, 10% silk, and 9% linen. And it is made from 100% recycled materials. I have worked with this yarn before on, I mean, this is a pretty loose gauge, but on an even looser gauge when I made my fishnet cardigan by Park Knits. And I really, really love this. It's like the perfect summer/spring yarn. I'm so excited to have this shirt. It's gonna be so light and airy. I, like I said, made some decent progress. It has like this split hem, which I really like, and the like little side detail over here. I think I have maybe like 3 or 4 inches to go, but this is just from maybe a week's worth of work. So I'm expecting this to be done fairly quickly, and I'm really loving knitting it. So like this is my main project right now. When I sit down and watch TV, because it's now just like in the round, I'm like plowing through it. It is excellent. I do have to say that this twisted rib made me want to cry. I did not like doing the twisted rib at all, and there was just so much of it. The only time I've done twisted rib was it, like, I'm pretty sure like only the knit stitches were twisted, but this is both knit and purl, and it was not the best time for me. But I think we're done with that, except for the cute little like faux side seam over here. But yeah, I'm extremely excited to have this. This yarn says, I'm pretty sure it says it's a size 3. Yes, but it really works up closer to like a sport weight, or like, because this is very, very thin. So the material itself is very light and airy. I'm using a size 8 needle and making, I'm pretty sure it's the size 3, which is a 48-inch bust. That'll give me probably about 8 inches of positive ease. I usually make the size 4, like the 4th size in a lot of things. That was a 52-inch bust, and I just thought that would be like a little bit too big for me, too much positive ease. But yes, I really think if we talk again in 2 weeks, I am expecting this to be done. I want to be wearing this the next time I record a podcast. Yes, Rift Tee. Oh, this is the colorway Earth. It says it is the colorway 6975, but when I ordered it, I went back and looked. It said the colorway was Earth. Just to clarify something from last week. Not that you can't find it with the number, but you know. What else do I have to show you? A couple things, a couple new cast-ons. I like very like spur of the moment started this, and I don't see this as being, I do see this as being like a very long-term project, but I started this like little wall hanging with these cutesy little vines and leaves. Eventually they will have like flowers on them. This is a pattern by Jessica Ryan, who is also Eclectic Jess. It is called the Fairy Garden Wall Hanging, and it's, like I said, it's just these little vines and flowers. I haven't made any flowers yet. I'm just using scraps. Like I pulled a bunch of green for obviously the greenery. But then I also pulled a bunch of, here, I'll show you what I pulled from the scrap bin. This is what the twisty one is in. This is Knit Pick Stroll. I have a lot of Knit Pick Stroll. I'm pretty sure the colorway is Bamboo Heather, but I will correct myself if wrong. And then the darker green is Knit Pick's Muse Fingering, and I think this was Peace Tonal, possibly. I used this in a sweater previously. These are just the leftovers. And then I just have a bunch of, like, I was looking for like muted grays and purples, just like dark, moody colors. I'm not sure what any of these are. To be 100, well, I'm sure, yeah, I'll specify if I end up using them, because these are just scraps, little bits and bobs of things I've had left over. I do have some other greens in here that I thought I could use that I also don't really know what they are. Oh, I do know what this is. This is Emma's yarn. It's like the silk one in the colorway Kale. That's really pretty. I don't know if I'll use that in that because there's enough of that left over for something nice. Not that this isn't nice, but like it's a nice yarn. And then I have these two other greens. I think I got this tweed one in like a yarn swap, and this is just leftover from like a sock set from something. And then I also have like this little bob. I think this is Malabrigo sock or like ultimate sock in the colorway Myth. I thought that would look cool as like a vine or something. And yeah, just little bits and bobs. Like I said, this is going to take a while, and like this vine in particular took 4 freaking ever, so this isn't going to be a quick project, but I very impulsively cast it on because it's so pretty. I saw somebody on Instagram making one and it was coming out so gorgeous. I'll try to insert a picture and the name of the account so you could go and look at that. This pattern actually calls for a worsted weight yarn, but I am obviously using fingering and a size 3.25 millimeter hook. And I guess it'll just come out a little bit smaller. Oy vey. This stick is just something my son has brought home and peeled the bark off of. And it's been sitting over on my shelf for like a year and a half. So I thought that would be really cute to hang these on. This isn't how it's going to be connected. I'm just putting them on there to store them so they don't get all jumbled and mixed up. But yeah, I'm digging that so far. We have one more project that I have started. This was another goal that I did not meet. I wanted to make can cozies for our friends who are coming up for 4th of July weekend, and I wanted to have one set of those can cozies done by the time I recorded. I did not meet that goal because I got really caught up in that Rift Tee, to be honest. I loved that so much, but I did start one can cozy. I am using Nitty Natty's pattern for the mini crochet yarn cozies, which comes with the 50 gram, which is this size, and a 20 gram version. The 50 gram version is wide enough to fit like a regular can. I have a can of sparkling water right here so I can show you. Come on. Fits that pretty perfectly. It just needs to be taller. That's the thing. It needs to be taller. And the 20 gram, I am happy to report, fits a skinny can like so perfectly. The only skinny cans I have are hard seltzer, and I don't really want to bring alcohol onto the camera. So you're just gonna have to take my word for it. I'll get like a Red Bull or something next time we talk, and I'll show you. But I didn't have to like finagle anything or figure out what would fit that can because the 20-gram version fits it perfectly. It is going to take forever. This is about, I'm gonna say like a quarter of the way done, maybe a third. I'm using size E 3.5 millimeter hook. For the body, the bottom calls for a size larger, so I used a G hook. I want to say yes, G. The yarn I'm using for this set, remember I am making 2 sets, one for a regular can, one tall can. I'm using Teeny Button Studios yarn for both of those. This is the colorway Enemies to Lover on her soft sock base, which is just a 75-25. And then for the other set, I am using the colorway Court of Dreams, which was in her like solstice advent last year. I made a pair of socks with each of these. Whoopsies. There it goes. I'll grab that. Made a pair of socks for my daughter out of this one. This is the leftover. And I made a pair of socks for my son out of this one. And there was a ton left over of both of those. But that's all the progress I really have. I really should just like buckle down and do it, because they're coming July 4th, like early in the morning, and staying through the weekend. So I would like to have these done by the 3rd, which is about 2 weeks away. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's everything I've been working on, and it's a lot of progress on multiple, like a little bit of progress on a lot of things. I did try like working on one thing at a time for a while this year, and I was finishing things very quickly, but I had some cast-on-itis and had to start all of these little projects, but I'm happy with them. I'm happy. And that's the most important thing. I don't want this hobby to feel like a chore ever. So I'm like very much a mood knitter. Whatever I'm in the mood to work on, that's what I'm gonna work on. And that's okay, because it's my hobby. Okay, I am back. Literally everybody came upstairs from the basement. My older daughter is now playing Minecraft over there, and I'm feeling really, really self-conscious, so I'm going to wrap this up quickly. Goals for the next 2 weeks. I would like to fix my Mosaic Cardi. I'm going to rip out that brown and replace it with the hazy heather. 2, I would like to finish 1 sock. I don't care if it is my husband's or my friend's. I would like to finish 1 sock. I think that is doable. I would like to finish the body of my rift tee. I wrote that down, but I also said I would like to have it done. Big goal, have it done. Small goal, body done. 1 is very, very doable. Finishing it is more of a reach, but I really want this. I really want to wear this, so it might happen. And number 3, finish the dang can cozies by July 3rd when our friends come up. We'll see if we could meet those goals. And I will see you in like 2 weeks. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. If you would like to see more, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.